What an exciting evening of finals for you tonight. I'm Duncan McKinnell and I'll be taking you through these finals, and joining me in the commentary box tonight, I'm delighted to welcome the Scottish Swimming National Coach Ian Wright. Good evening, Ian.
Hi, good evening, Duncan. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night, I think. What was your thoughts about last night?
It was pretty good, yeah. There was some excellent races. Probably the highlight was that Scottish record from Scott Gibson.
Yeah, not once but twice.
Yeah, improving what he did in the morning swim, and I thought the relay at the end was very exciting as well. The Stirling University team tried to put three matched teams in there, and they all ended up very close, so that worked well. And
very, very fast, all three of them as well. Just shows the depth in Stirling at the moment. It is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. It was it was quick. Yeah.
So we've got a good list of events for you. So both the men and the women swimming the same events all night. So we start off with 400 individual medley. So we'll be looking for some exciting swims there. Angus Allison will be the fastest qualifier for the men, and then Katie Shanahan for the women. She won the 200 IM yesterday. Then following that, we've got 100 meters backstroke. So we'll get another chance to see Scott Gibson, we were just talking about, on the longer event in that one. Then Kathleen Dawson continuing her comeback to full fitness will be the fancied one perhaps in the women's event. Following that with 200 breaststroke. The 200 breaststroke, you'd think, are pretty open finals. What do you think about them, Ian?
The men's one it is very open. You're right. I would probably put George Smith as the short favourite there. Probably has the best personalised time, but these swimmers are in different states of preparation. Some of them have prepared to swim at their peak at this competition, and others are preparing, using this as still a preparation event for other competitions coming up, including international events like the World Championships. So it's hard to be certain of predictions here. The women's one, I think Anna Morgan is probably the strong favourite. She's swimming well at the moment, so we look forward to that one.
Yeah, she's looked very good this season. Then we move on to 200 freestyle. So hopefully we'll see Duncan Scott in lane 4 in the men's event. The Olympic silver medalist, Commonwealth champion, of course. And Lucy Hope has been in great form this year.
Yeah, Lucy's swimming very well. I'm sure we'll mention it, but she was out in Rome last week at the Seti Collie meet and did a very close to her lifetime best there. So I would expect her to go much quicker tonight than she did in the heats. So
50 butterfly follows that. Again, this could be pretty open, you would think. Carswell and Swinney, perhaps, will go head-to-head in the men's event.
Yeah, Swinney, the Scottish record holder. Carswell, I think, is the Welsh record holder. And also in there, you've got the Scottish junior record holder in Dean Fenn. So he might be a little bit too young to beat these older guys at the moment. But that's going to be a close one for sure. Again, hard to say how much effort they were putting into their heat swim. So the women's 50 fly will also be a very good race.
Yeah, Lucy Grieve, good specialist, and Kira Schlosson's been in great form this year. And then you've got Kathleen Dawson doing fly, which is a little unusual.
Yeah, she used to do it a few years ago and was quite good at it. So it's nice to see her having another attempt at it here today.
And then we finish off our individual events with the fastest heat of the 1500 freestyle. So we've got Michael Flynn, Chap Munsey, who won the 800 last night. Luke Hornsey, the 17-year-old from East Lothian, is going to be in that. And then it's relay time again. And again, we'll see the Stirling's team in there, all their strength in the 4x100 freestyle. But we're ready to go now. First event is the B final of the women's 400 meters individual medley, and they are all up on the blocks ready to go. The lineup for this is so it is the men's, thank you. It's Luke Garrity of Inverclyde in lane 0, Kian Lee of City of Peterborough in 1, Lewis Gibson of South Ayrshire in lane 2, Fraser Tetlow goes in lane 3 for Geary. Another 2 Geary swimmers, Oscar Churnside in 4 and Kyle Mitchell in lane 5. Then in lane 6, Tyler Stewart of South Lanarkshire, Orlando Deering of City of Peterborough in 7, Owen Reid of Billingham in 8, and in lane 9, Jacob Wood of Elgin. Oscar Chirnside with the fast entry time, but he did that 1500 freestyle this afternoon just so close to the 17 minutes. Yeah. It was tight. So that must be in his legs, you would think, and arms at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't that long ago, really, just a couple of hours that he did that. So so agonizingly close to breaking the 17 minutes, but I hope it was still a good swim for him. But yeah, I'm sure he's still got a bit of fatigue setting in there.
Certainly in the fly, he's well back, and it's Kian Lee in 1:05.07 who has the advantage at the end of the butterfly section, but not by much. Kyle Mitchell, another of the Geary swimmers. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he was also in the 1500. Let me just check that. Yes, he was. So he doesn't seem to be showing any ill effects. He's off in lane 5, looking very good. Kian Lee in lane 1. It's always easy to tell these Geary swimmers when they wear that bright yellow. Sometimes they wear pale blues, not nearly as noticeable, but the yellow you can always tell. And Kyle there, 37.4 there. Jacob Wood matching that pace, the swimmer in lane 9 from Elgin. Lane 7, Orlando Deering from City of Peterborough. Great to have City of Peterborough up with us this weekend.
Yeah, nice to see them back up here. They've got a couple of Scottish kids in their team, and I think part of the reason is to bring them up here, but also they know it's a good competition.
Yeah, a lot of swimmers from the northeast of England as well, and of course the Limerick team as well. So great to have all of those swimmers, just giving our Scottish space swimmers something different to think about. So into the breaststroke now, Kyle Mitchell leads by a bit over a second. Let's see if anyone comes back at him. Starting to look strong in lane 3 is another Geary swimmer, Fraser Tetlow, and also going well down at the bottom of your screen, Jacob Wood of Elgin. Lane 7 as well, Orlando Deering still in the mix, but it does look like lane 3, Fraser Tetlow is the one who is challenging his Geary teammate. These two. And it is now Fraser with the advantage, 3:03.93, and you can see there a 40.3 versus 43 for Kyle, 44 for Jacob. But sometimes in the second half of the breaststroke it's not as dominating as in the first half, so let's see whether lane 5 Kyle Mitchell can keep there close by and give himself a chance in the freestyle.
Yeah, this part of the race, I always think from 250 through to 350 is the hardest part of the race. You've got to really push hard here. And the breaststroke, often swimmers slow down by 1 or 2 seconds on this second lap. But Fraser's done a good job to hold the 40 point. That's a 40.5, so that's really excellent.
Yeah, so that's put it very much in control, 5 seconds clear with 100 freestyle to go. That's a huge ask to anybody else to try and bring that one back. It is still Kyle Mitchell in second, and now it's Tyler Stewart, who we've not talked about. He's in third. He might be making a little bit of ground on Kyle in the contest for second, but here's your leader coming up to the final turn. He's about 6 meters up as he goes through the turn. Fraser Tetlow. So really dominant breaststroke, the key to his success here. So 4:19.11 as he goes into the final length. His time in the heats earlier was 5:01. He's going to be well under 5 minutes here. So this is excellent from the Geary swimmer. So Kyle Mitchell then looking to finish the job into the final 5. And coming in 4:50, well, it didn't stop the clock there, but it looked like about 4:52. 4:55 has come up on the clock, but we'll see whether that gets changed. I'm sure it will. Orlando Deering coming in second, and Kyle Mitchell in third. But Fraser Tetlow, a good strong swim from him. Came into this meet on a 4:49, probably not quite at that pace, but a good solid 400 IM swim with breaststroke and freestyle very much the highlights for him. We'll just wait for that to be confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely around the 4:52 mark, which had he done that this morning, he would have been well into the A final.
Well, that's the story, isn't it?
I mean, it's a big difference, 9 seconds or so from heat to final. So fair play to him, and it's a good swim.
So just waiting for that one to be confirmed, and I guess that will be probably about verifying the correct time in lane 3 for Fraser.
There we go.
So, yep, 4:52, spot on, Ian. 4:52.42 Fraser's time there. So good win from him, and we get ready for our first open final. They will come on one by one as we get ready to welcome them. And here they come. See them coming through then. So led there in lane 9 will be Greg Hall of University of Aberdeen Performance. In lane 8 will be Nathan Campbell from Stirling Swimming. In lane 7, David Moyes of City of Peterborough. In 6 is Ronan Kilcoyne from Limerick National Centre. In lane 5 is Pierce Greening from Stirling University. In lane 4, it's Angus Allison, also of Stirling University. In lane 3, Jay Manners from Derwentside. In lane 2, Scott Fleming from South Lanarkshire. Lane 1 is Joshua Robinson of Derwentside. And lane 0 is Thomas Traynor from South Lanarkshire. So that's your field. There's the summary of the lineup. Angus Allison, the fastest qualifier, but only by 300ths from his teammate Pierce Greening, two 20-year-olds.
Yeah, I expect this to be a battle between these two. Both capable of in the mid 420s or even slightly quicker. So I'm sure they'll go a lot quicker than their 441 from this morning.
Yes, you would certainly expect so. So they set off then, the 10 swimmers. What would you encourage them to do in a meet like this? These senior swimmers, they know they're going to get into the A final. And how important is it that they really push hard in the morning heats to try and maximise their time, particularly given what they've got to do in the next few weeks? Are you happy for them to be relatively relaxed in the morning, or would you prefer them to be fast?
So the answer is kind of it depends, but some cases it depends what your objective of the competition is, what you're trying to get out of it, and what the next step is that's coming up, and how important that is. You know, if you're looking to try and get a really strong performance tonight in a 400, and you can get through the heats relatively easily, I would say that's the thing, because it's very, very difficult to do two extremely good 400s in one day. So you might want to test something out, or like maybe you swim the first half of the race quite strong and then ease off, or you know, you might have some other tactics to work on like turns. But if you know you're going to be in the final barring a DQ and it's a 400, I would certainly think just wait for the evening when it's on the line and the medals are to be won, and attack it there and save your energy for that. A 50 freestyle might be a different approach. For, you know, you might have to go test yourself differently in that, but the 400 is very difficult. It's why we, in the 800 and the 1500, we don't do them twice in one day.
Yeah, well, you can't really, can you?
No, it's too difficult.
So it is lane 4, Angus Allison at the 150 turn. He's opened up a lead of about 4 or 5 metres here.
Yeah, this is good, and he's got a strong breaststroke, Angus, so they'll be probably quite happy with where he's lying at the moment.
So his fly was pretty much the same split as he did this morning, a 101. He was 2:14 at halfway this morning. So let's see how that compares. It is now Pierce Greening's moved into second ahead of Jay Manners as we see Angus coming into the turn. 2:11.13, so that now is 3 seconds faster than he was this morning. As a lead of over 3 seconds as well from Pierce. with Jane Manners in the white cap in third place. These three fairly well clear of a contest for fourth between Scott Fleming in lane 2 and Ronan Kilcoyne in lane 6. But there's no doubt here, as you said, strong breaststroker Angus Allison, and is using those breaststroke skills to build up the lead. Let's just check on his pacing there, 37.09. Let's see what Pierce's is. Well, pretty much the same, 37.11. So the gap has stayed at just about over 3.5 seconds, 3.7. Jane Manners around about 3-4 meters back on Pierce, still holding second place. Then you can see Ronan Kilcoyne having a good breaststroke. He's certainly made fourth his own and is doing his best to try and catch up Jay. But at the front, certainly looks to be pretty comfortable at this stage for Angus.
It's turning at 3:25 now. He'd normally hope to come back in around a minute, 10 or 1:01. Would give him around 4:26, 4:27 if he does well in here. He's a long way ahead. I didn't expect him to be this far ahead of Pierce, who's been having a very good season. Pierce Greening, he was done very well in Sheffield in April, and but he'll be targeting the British Summer Championships, I'm sure, in a few weeks' time as his main contest.
So final turn then, and that was a 32 point for Angus there. So looking at, well, maybe closer to 4:30, but you would think he would pick up pace down this last length.
Although he does look a little bit tired there to me. Sometimes I've seen Angus come back really well on the last 50, but he's looking a little tired.
He's wrapped up the win, there's no doubt about that. What's the time going to be?
Pierce also looking tired, but he still had a strong swim.
So 4:28.81 the time of the end. So it was 63 and a bit for his freestyle for Angus there in the end. Finished on a 31.20. Pierce Greening taking second spot, and third goes to Jay Manners, the Dermot side swimmer. And just looking at the others, got Ronan Kilcoyne fourth, and Scott Fleming. And there was a battle for the juniors, and that goes Thomas Trainor's way. So he will be our junior champion. The South Lanarkshire very close to his entry time, within a second of it. So well done to Thomas, junior champion. So that's the 400 IM done and dusted, for the men anyway. We go to the women now. So there is your lineup for the B final. So we have Zara Keegan of University of Aberdeen Performance in 0, Amy McLeod of City of Glasgow in lane 1, then 3 Derwent-side swimmers, Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson in lane 2, Isabel Fox in 3, and Emily Maxwell in 4. Lane 5 is Hannah O'Connor of Limerick National Centre. Then we have Alice Ward from Borough of Stockton, Alice Cumming from City of Glasgow in lane 7, Gear is Catherine Boddy in lane 8, and Georgia Dickey from Dumfries in lane 9. So the times from this morning's heats, 5:19 up to 5:26. So quite a strong non-Scottish contingent in here. 4 from the northeast of England, 1 from Ireland, all in good lanes.
And not too much difference in the time in the heats to make this B final. Quite close between the top 6 or so.
Yes, so let's see how it works out. Good starts in lane 4 for Emily Maxwell, and in lane 7 for Alice Cumming. City of Glasgow swimmer, I think, is going to lead them through the 50. Yeah. Alice 31.31.
Fly is probably Alice's best stroke, but she does like the medley, so she is quite competent on all the strokes.
And certainly it's fairly competitive at the moment, going well down to the bottom of your screen. Georgia Dickey, the Dumfries swimmer, and next to her Catherine Boddy. So they're all up there with Alice. Lots of action down there. Also, keep your eyes on the top of the screen. Zara Keegan, University of Aberdeen, in lane 2. Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson as well. So it's all pretty close, but it has moved across now to the other side of the pool for the lead. Zara Keegan now leading the way, 109.29. Leads by not very much at all, 700ths from Evie. So these two, as we settle into the backstroke, still up there. In lane 4, Emily Maxwell, and in lane 7, Alice Cumming, who is maybe just coming through now a bit more in the backstroke. So we thought it might be close, and he called it in terms of how tight the times were to get into this B final. It's certainly looking competitive at this stage.
Yeah, very much so. It's going to be interesting, you know, if you're pacing it well now as you turn onto the second length of backstroke. This is a good place to try and attack, make a move if you can, try and get a lead before you go into that breaststroke.
See all those leading 4s on 41s there for the first half of the backstroke. So let's see if anyone takes your advice there and does really push it. Coming down, it's still lane 2, I think, Evie, but Alice Cumming going well. I'm trying to come at her. Catherine Body in lane 8. Emily Maxwell has been close all the way through in lane 4, so she's very much in the hunt. But it's going to be Evie first through the halfway mark, 2:31.44. And again, you'd see there a little bit more differentiation in the times in the second half of the backstroke, with Evie at 40.1 there. Does look like maybe Emily Maxwell is going to push on in the breaststroke. Alice Cumming still close there. It may be developing into these 3. Let's see if anybody else can get up with them.
Yeah, this is an excellent swim from Alice Cumming. Swum a good butterfly, strong backstroke. Now she's pushing on here on the breaststroke.
Yeah, looks like she's going to turn just in the lead at the 250. 44.4, and you see that's over 2 seconds faster than Evie. Emily Maxwell, who I thought might come through in the breaststroke, 45.7 there. So it's looking good at the moment for the City of Glasgow swimmer Alice Cumming. But she's still got a lot of work to do to finish the job here. But we'll be wanting to open up the gap here and take advantage of this breaststroke skill that she has. Catherine Body is pushing on well, trying to get in the mix with the top 3. So she's going nicely, but it is still the City of Glasgow swimmer. And in lane 2, Evie O'Halloran. It might be Evie O'Halloran. Hutchinson's got back into the lead now. So good second half to her breaststroke. Really picked it up there. Now is perhaps just suffering perhaps from the fast first half of her breaststroke.
Yeah, 47 there from that 44 on the first one. That's a little bit too much drop off, but maybe she's still got something to come on the freestyle.
Well, we'll find out in the next 50 seconds or so as we come down towards the final turn. It's still very much a 3-way contest here. Nobody else is going to get close. Looks like Zara Keegan in 4th place now, but let's see who's going to turn first. It's now Emily Maxwell. She's left the best till last with a very good penultimate length there, 3:33.82. So she goes through now with a lead of nearly 2 seconds. So very much conserved her efforts and left it for this one. See, they're getting the good old hurry up there on the side of the pool, but it's going to be the Derwent side 16-year-old entered, well, heat time 5:19.22. So what could she do? She was a 5:13 entry time, and just inside that, 5:12.78. So nicely done, Emily. Takes the win. It's Dermot side 1-2, as Evie takes second in 5:15.48, and Alice Cumming taking third in 5:15.59.
Yeah, nicely quicker, all those girls there from the heats, dropping 5, 6, 7 seconds or so.
Alice Cumming came into the heat on a 5:21, into the meet rather on a 5:21, so I think she'll be pretty happy with that evening's work.
Yeah, quite a few of the Glasgow club swimmers have just come back from a training camp last weekend, so we probably know that they're in quite good shape. Their fitness will be high.
So here we see our open finalists and leading them out, going to lane 9, Zara Kravis of East Lothian. In fact, she was just behind there. They got a bit mixed up in there, but there's lane 8, Alice Forrest. Susie McNair of Stirling Swim goes in 7. Ailsa McDonald in lane 6 for Edinburgh University. In lane 5, it's Michaela Glenister from the University of Stirling. Katie Shanahan going in lane 4 for Stirling University. In lane 3, already at the blocks from Ards, Amelia Kane. Next to her, University of Aberdeen Performances, Orla Adams. In lane 1, it's from Borough Stockton's Emma Price. And in lane 0, Stirling Swim, Coco Croxford. That's your lineup. Certainly you would fancy Katie Shannon. She had that fantastic battle with Freya Colbert at the British Championship, just losing out there. But of course, Commonwealth Games bronze medalist, European Championship finalist. She'll surely be swimming this in the Worlds.
She will be swimming at the World Champs in a few weeks' time, yes. And did very well on it last week in Rome. Just outside a personal best of 436.9 last week.
Yeah, she was a winner in Rome, and that's no mean achievement up against some of the best in Europe.
I wouldn't expect it to be quite as quick as that here today, but it depends what tactics she wants to employ in terms of how to pace this.
So for a long time you and Danielle did coach her. Now she's in Stirling. If you were her coach, what would you be suggesting for this?
I would be looking at her approach to the walls, trying to make, and that was a good one there, into the first butterfly turn, making sure she's not slowing down, going into the wall, and also attacking the underwater phase out of the wall, which she's got a lot better at recently. I'd be fairly confident that she's going to be out in the front, so it's a matter of her motivation to push herself here and also practicing some pacing and some technical things that will be of value to her later on.
So coming up to the end of the butterfly, and she's got a lead of about 4 meters, going through in 1:04.26, and that is about 3 seconds faster than she was this morning.
She'll also be thinking about her stroke rate. I think that sometimes it's quite easy when you're in the front here, like 5, 6, 7 meters ahead, to be a bit too relaxed with your stroke. So hopefully she can counter that, make sure the arms are moving smoothly and quickly relative to the 400. Again, on the breaststroke, I'm sure that'll be a focus for her.
So, of course, we know that she is an excellent backstroker, and she's using all of those skills here to build her lead up. You see there, 35.4. Next best, Michaela Glenister, 37.2. And the lead now 5 seconds and growing. Michaela, of course, we saw that excellent 800 freestyle win from her yesterday. That's when we focus on Katie.
I mean, Michaela actually has a personal best of 4:39 from the World Junior Championships a few years ago, where she got bronze, and an outstanding swim. And she's focusing a bit more on distance freestyle these days, but it's good to see her still approaching the 400 IM and has done some good ones this season already.
Yeah, so Michaela was a B finalist last week in the Rome meet. Did a 4:47 there, which was faster than her entry time here, a 4:51. So we'll see what she can do. Just behind her in lane 3 is the Irish woman Amelia Kane. But nobody can live with Katie coming up towards the 250 turn. And her lead is around about 10 meters now. Check her pacing here.
40.4 is pretty good. Her target would be 39. She did 39.39 last week in Rome when she was being pushed hard by, as you say, other European swimmers. But split 40.4 on her own then is a good sign.
Of course, won the 200 IM yesterday, so this will give her the medley double. And, well, it's almost impossible to see anything other than a Katie Shannon win at this stage. coming up towards the 300. And she turned 347 this morning, so 334, so that was around a 120.
That's a really good split. To go the second 50 with the breaststroke faster than the first one means she really attacked that 39.9 there.
Yeah, nice stuff there. So what would you expect to come back on in this back-end freestyle?
I'd like to think we might see a 32 followed by a 31, maybe a 103. Could end up around 438, 439 here perhaps.
That would be pretty fast if she could do that.
33.0. So I think this is, I'm going to predict 439 at the moment off that.
Yeah. So came into the meet with their British Championship time 4:36.74. So for 4:39, you would have to be really pleased with that, I would have thought.
Yeah, in a swim like this, that's the time that got her the bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games last year. And so now that she's doing that more consistently, it's great to see.
So is she going to get under the 440? It's going to be close. I think might just dust over it. 440.75, but great swim there.
Probably
Really
needed someone to push it down that last 50 a little bit. But good, very good 440 in this context tonight is an excellent swim.
Michaela there, right on her entry time, the time 4:51, so 4:51.27 for her. She takes second. Amelia Kane will pick up the bronze medal. So nicely done for her. And then looking down the list, it's going to be Susie McNair, I think, will be our junior champion. Susie McNair is an exciting prospect, isn't she? Really working hard and doing well over a range of different events.
Yeah, she likes to swim everything. I would say 400 IM is her best event. She was, I don't know what her stage of training is. She was 4:54 early in the year at the British Champs. So I'm guessing she might have been preferring to get under the 5 minutes again there, 5:02 today. But she'll have her eyes on the British Champs at the end of July to peak for that event.
Yes, so for these swimmers that are either going down to Sheffield for the British Summer Championships or going up to Aberdeen for the Scottish Summer Meet, what's the role of this meet for them?
Well, I mean, probably the younger ones, I would say they're generally using this as a practice event to, similar to what Katie was doing in the relevance to the World Championships there, practice technique, practice pacing, maybe try and get things right that they've got not quite right in previous races, test where they're at in their training. It might give them a guide as to what, for the coach, as to what they need to do in the next 2 or 3 weeks leading into those championships. Sometimes you get people who are swimming very, very well here, and that's a good sign. Sometimes they're maybe a little bit off because they're in the middle of heavy training. So it's contextual.
So just going into the 100 backstroke now then. So we've got 3 swimmers in this para-final. Bjorn Ayen goes in 5 for South Lanarkshire. Sam Downey of East Lothian in lane 4, and Declan Castles in lane 3 for South Lanarkshire. We've got a couple more para swimmers going in the B final after this, so nothing will get decided in this one in terms of the para medals. Sam Downey certainly will be the fastest, you would think, in the water, and probably the highest point scorer of these 3. Swimmer will be making his way to Manchester for the World Para Championships not very long from now, in a month or so's time. Just under a month, I think, now, till they start.
Yeah, 30th of July, I think. Or 31st, perhaps.
So anyway, he's in between the 2 South Lanarkshire boys. S8 swimmer Sam, Declan's S9 and Bjorn S10. 1:11 from Sam this morning. He has done a 1:08. That's what he's entered in, 1:08.52. Must be eyeing the Scottish record here, which is held by Sean Fraser. It's been a fairly long-standing record. That must be at least 10 years old. 1:07.92. But certainly...
Yeah, I remember, I think probably older than that. I used to coach Sean way back. And I remember when he did that time.
So 34.45 is a pretty handy start there. Don't think he'll be challenging that record on that split, but he's going nicely, looking to get inside his time from this morning, 1:11.27. He's certainly a well clear of the two South Lanarkshire boys. Of course, it will, as we did yesterday, convert the times into British para points, and then the medals get decided based on the points relative to the world records in their respective classification. So again, that time not coming up there. I think that time again, I think we would expect to be adjusted a little faster than 1:12.81.
Yeah, I think 1:11 I would suggest there. Sometimes that pad, we always think that it doesn't work as well in lane 4. You've got to hit the pad really hard to make sure it stops. That's on the swimmer to do that.
So Bjorn Aon, second home, 1:25.14. That's over a second and a half faster than his time this morning. And Declan a lot faster than he was this morning, 1:32.50 for him. And we'll be pleased with that, because he came into this meet 1:39. He went 1:38 this morning and now 1:32. So that's very good progression from Declan. He'll be looking to keep that progression going and see if he can start to become a major contender in S9 ranks. And there is the adjusted time for Sam, 1:11.28. So that will be converted into points, and we'll compare that with the two para swimmers that are going to be going in this B final. Line up for the B final. So we have one of those para swimmers, Louis Lawler, in lane 0. He's an S14 swimmer for City of Glasgow. Then we have Jack Doherty-Simpson of Scotia in 1, Greer van der Merlen and Logan van der Merlen going in lanes 2 and 3 for Stirling Swimming. Josh Press of Stirling University in 4. Then we've got the second para swimmer, Stephen Clegg, swimming S12 for Edinburgh University in lane 5. Thomas Maskell of Derwentsside in 6. Andrew Brodie, Aberdeen Dolphin in 7. Neddy Irwin of Limerick in 8. And Liam Goczynski of Montefieth in lane 9.
Yeah, both these para swimmers, Louis and Stephen, are also in that World Para Swimming Championship team, which will be in Manchester at the end of the month.
Certainly Stephen Clegg has been in pretty strong form this season. Was winner in Berlin, winner in Sheffield in the Para World Series competitions. And he's certainly up there with Josh Press in the centre lanes there. It was very close, 101s and 102s all the way in this one. And it's Neddy Irwin, though, in lane 8, has the touch by 500ths from Andrew Brodie, Thomas Maskell, and then the swimmers in the centre lane. So there's a good contest going on here. Neddy Irwin in lane 8 is certainly in the mix still down the second length. Also up there, Jack Doherty-Simpson in lane 1, and coming through now is Josh Press in lane 4. I think maybe Josh is going to take it. After that, it's anyone's race for second, but it will be Josh dipping into the wall and taking it in 1:00.61. Second was Jack Doherty-Simpson, and third, Logan van der Merlen, just 900ths ahead of his older brother, Greer. Stephen Clegg there on a 1:01.55, just outside of the Scottish record. And Louis Lawler, his time was 1:03.04. So those will get converted into points and used to decide where the para medals go.
Yeah, both Stephen and Louis slightly slower than they were this morning, so maybe they were hoping for better than that. But a very close race from second all the way through to 7th there.
So here come the A finalists, led out by Elgin's Lucas Brown. There he is in the blue top in lane 9. Jordan McPhail goes for Edinburgh University in lane 8. Next to him in lane 7 from University of Aberdeen Performance is Jamie Ferguson. Sam Pease then goes in 6 for Stirling University. In 5, Scott Gibson. That record-breaking swim in the 50 yesterday. He goes in lane 5, second fastest. Then Jonathan Adam in lane 4 from Bath University. Zach Speakman from University of Stirling in 3. the junior, Dean Fern of Aberdeen Dolphin, goes in lane 2. Lewis Maxwell of Derwent's side in lane 1. And Conor Massey for University of Aberdeen Performance is in lane 0. So Jonathan Adam, a 55.5 this morning, entered on a 53.9. Scott Gibson, a 55.6, just 300ths behind him this morning, entered on a 54.2. Could he challenge the Gregor Tate 54.22 Scottish record here? It's a long-standing record. Melbourne, was it?
Yes, I think so. It's been good to see that record go down. It's been a long time. Gregor's held that. Scott's certainly someone with the speed to do it, and he showed that last night. He's got the 50-metre speed behind him. Can he keep it going down the second 50 here?
So Scott is in the black cap. Jonathan is in the white cap. You would think it would be between these two. Keep your eyes on Dean Fern, the youngster, as well. He might have eyes on a junior record as well, but it's a terrific start from Scott Gibson. So the 50 backstroke speed merchant, perhaps not a surprise that he is out fastest. The question will be, can he hold off Jonathan Adam in the second half? So 25.86 against 26.02, so about quarter of a second in it as we come down, and it was a good turn from Jonathan Adam. He's right there with Scott now, and they are going at it head for head here. This is really tight, but it looks like Jonathan Adam has the advantage now with 10 metres to go. The Bath man, I think, is going to take it. Can he pull Scott Gibson on to a good time? It is 54.22. We've had the Jonathan Adam time we called the Gregor Tate Scottish record there, but of course he's not a Scot, so that won't count. But a great swim from Jonathan, 54.22. I think he'll be pretty happy with that. Scott Gibson, 54.71, so that's within half a second of his entry time. Zach Speakman, 56.54 in third place. So thoughts about that one, Ian?
Yeah, I think Jonathan used his experience and his skills there to get that win from the turn. Scott had gone out strong, and you saw Jonathan hold on to him, but then really attack the underwater off the turn and pulled away. Well, by the time they came up, he was slightly ahead of Scott, and he was just really able to hang on and hold that then. I think both were probably pretty happy with those performances there. 54.2, 54.7, and both pretty good swims.
Yep.
And also the other, Zach on 56, and Jamie Ferguson on 56 behind that. And I know they're focusing on the British champs in a month's time, so they'll be happy with 56 as well at this point today.
So here come the women's para swimmers. There's going to be 5 of them swimming in this one. And leading them out is Emma Imrie, swimming S10 for South Ayrshire. Lane 6, there's lane 5, Abby Kane, the experienced 100 backstroker. In lane 4, Irish star Rashid Narayan. She's an S13 partially sighted swimmer. Katie Pate goes in lane 3 for Carnegie, swimming S10. And then we have Merrin Binney. Nice wave, hi Merrin. She's the 14-year-old youngest in the field from Swim IT, and she is swimming S6. So there will be a wide range of times here. Rasheen clearly will be the favourite. I mean, she is a class act there. She was a Paralympics finalist in this one and bronze medalist in the World Para Championships last year. So she'll be going to Manchester supporting the Irish Challenge for success. So a good preparation meet for her here. Imagine this would be her last swim before Manchester.
I think so, yeah. She might do a time trial in training in the run-up or when they get to, in the final few days leading in, but this will be certainly the last competition she does.
Of course, Abby Kane also S13, so between those two, it's a straight race. And you would expect it's going to be these two out front. And a lovely start from Rasheen, already a metre and a half up on Abby. Then we've got the two S10 swimmers, and that could be a good contest. There was only half a second between Katie and Emma in the heats this morning, so there also is a straight race. But at the front, it's Rasheen by about a body length now, going through 33.21. Abby 34.41. Then the third place was Katie, 42 for her, but it's good. The two S13s are going to lead them in, and it's Rasheen who is certainly going to be first in terms of the time. So she was 1:08.95 this morning. She's faster than that, 1:07.70. So that's pretty close to her inch time, 1:07.10. So I think that'd be pretty respectable. That.
I think, yeah, 1:07 is a good time for Rasheen in that category that she's in. Oh, very tight. Emma just came past Katie there at the end on that finish.
Yeah, 1:25.8, 1:26.16. So a really close contest between the two S10s. We still have Merrin Binney in the water here. So let's see what she can come in. She came into this event on a 2:06. She was close to that this morning, 2:07. So can she get towards the 2 minutes here? She's got 10 meters to go. So let's see what her time is going to be. Here she comes, 2:07.23. So slightly faster than she was this morning, within 3/10, so very respectable there for her. So again, those times will be converted into points, and we will find out soon enough who goes to the podium. We go then to the B final now. They're all lined up, ready to go. Megan Donovan goes for City of Peterborough in 0. Marie Wood for University of Aberdeen Performance in 1. Alex McGill for Gateshead and Wickham in 2. Ciara Steriker of South Ayrshire in 3. Melissa Mainwaring of West Lothian in 4. Kiana Kurtzer of Warren de Baths in 5. Rebecca Reid of Aberdeen in 6. Millie Wells goes for Telford in lane 7. Ellie Armstrong of East Lothian in 8. And Bethy Firth of Ards in lane 9. Just looking at that, I don't think that is Bethy Firth swimming in lane 9, so I'm just trying to find out who that is.
University of Edinburgh swimmer.
Yep.
Lucy Lucas, is it?
Yep, I think it could be. So away they go. Lucy Lucas certainly was reserve, so yes, it is Lucy, so she goes in lane 9. Gets her opportunity to swim for Edinburgh University. While at the front, leading them out, lane 5 is Kiana Kurtzer, lane 6 is Rebecca Reid. Oh, others very close as well. In fact, it's Rebecca Reid from Millie Wells, and then Kiana Kurtzer and Ailey Armstrong, all those 31.8 to 32.1 down the second length, and pretty much anyone's race here, certainly in lanes 5, 6, 7 and 8, all in the hunt here. Could others come in and challenge them? Lanes 1 and 2 not far away as well. Marie Wood and Alex McGill, so really this is all about finishing skills. Here comes Melissa Mainwaring as well in lane 4. It's all about the touch here. Who gets it? It is Melissa. Good second half from her, 1:06.22. She takes the win. 4/10 faster than she was this morning. Ciara Steriker second, Alex McGill third. Very competitive race that.
Yeah, extremely close. Only 0.59 separating the first 6 swimmers.
So well done to Melissa, and I guess that's a good test of skills then when you've got that really tight contest, particularly I suppose in the finish, but also I suppose the turns as well when you're turning under pressure in a close race.
Yes. Yeah, it's something you look for in the swimmers. You can teach them it, but some swimmers seem to have a better knack for it than others, and particularly that finish on the backstroke where you can't see where the wall is. You have to really understand where your hand is in time and space and feel for the wall and then hit the wall hard at the right moment.
Yeah, of course they'll have practiced that lots and lots. Here we come then, the A finalist led out by Katie Rose of Warren de Basque going into lane 9. Florence Tinsley in lane 8 for Stirling University. In lane 7 is Danielle Farrell of Limerick National Centre. In lane 6 is Emily Grant from the University of Aberdeen. In lane 5, City of Glasgow's Amy Shields. In lane 4, Stirling University's Kathleen Dawson. In lane 3, from Edinburgh University, Olivia Butler. In lane 2, from Edinburgh University, Ellis Shields. In lane 1, from City of Glasgow, Heidi Wren. And in lane 0, from Perth City, Catherine Renfrew.
Well, Kathleen Dawson, the strong favourite here, obviously. But it's been good to see on this competition Amy Shields doing very well. And obviously in here with her sister, Alice. Slightly older than Amy, but 2 sisters in the final there.
And I think Amy is going to be joining Alice in Edinburgh University this autumn, isn't she?
So yes, I think that's the plan.
Yeah, so they will be training partners next year because have been training partners in the past in Glasgow.
In Glasgow, and then previously in Mullingar and Bearsden before that.
That's true. So Kathleen has been flirting with the minute all this season, and you wouldn't expect her to go under the minute, I don't think, today. Of course, at in a pomp in 2021, she was way under that, but...
I mean, I'd be delighted to see it happen. I think we're looking at a minute point. Maybe, depends on how she attacks it, of course. And
so certainly leading them out now. Good start as well from Emily Grant in lane 6, and then in between them we talked about Amy Shields.
It looks like Kathleen's swimming a relatively relaxed first 50, and I'm expecting her to try and attack the second 50 here.
So she was a 30.9 this morning, so she's a second faster than that. She did a 1:02 exactly, so she can also pick up another second in the second half. Then she's rang on the minute, but let's see whether she can do that. She's being pushed here. I mean, she has the lead. She has the lead by about a body length, but I suppose it's becoming a dominant performance now. She is pulling away. Yeah, there's a real good old race going on for second with Amy Shields, I think, just edging it. But it's going to be Kathleen Dawson. Let's check on the time. 1:01.59. So takes half a second off her heat time. So inscrutable pace there.
Yeah. And you saw her go out in 29.9, came back in 31.6, and really accelerated in the last 25 metres. Like you said, it was quite close, but then the Kathleen pulled away in the final phase. But I think there was a little improvement for Amy. 3.99 this morning down to 3.48. I'm sure she'll be very happy with that silver medal.
Yeah, it looks like the junior title will go to Heidi Wren, the City of Glasgow. Just looking down the line there, I think that is right. So
yeah, and that's a good swim from Heidi Wren as well, 1:05.41. Good return to form for her.
So I think we're going to have our first set of presentations coming up now. This is for the 400 individual medley. It'll be the men up first. So the swimmers just be getting ready for that, clearing that podium area, so as we can recognise the performances of the swimmers, because we had no para swimmers in the 400 individual medley, so it'll be just the one presentation for the men and one for the women. Here come the men now to the podium. Strong flavour of green coming up here. It's the president of the Scottish Amateur Swimming Association, Brian Hendry, who will be making these presentations. So the bronze medalist is from Derwent's side, and that is Jay Manners. The silver medalist from the University of Stirling is Pierce Greening. And the gold medalist and national champion from the University of Stirling, Angus Allison. So a time of 4:28.81 for Angus to win that one. The junior champion from South Lanarkshire is Thomas Traynor. Up onto the podium. Thomas, come on, where you belong. It's a gold medal, top junior. Congratulations. So they'll get the trophies to the two champions, the senior and the junior champion. So we'll have the women's medalists up next. And they're just making their way now to the podium area. So the bronze medalist from Ards is Amelia Kane. The silver medalist from Stirling University, Michaela Glenister. The gold medalist, a time of 4:40.75, dominant performance there from University of Stirling's Katie Shanahan. And the junior champion from Stirling Swim is Susie McNair. Time of 5:02.22 for Susie. So, the trophy is going to our two champions. So that concludes our medal ceremony for the moment, and we go back to racing with 200 breaststroke up next. The men once again will be first. And the B final, again no para event for the 200 breaststroke. So the line-up for the men in the B final: Josh Martin of City of Peterborough in lane 0. Fraser Tetlow from Geary in lane 1. Aidan Fothergill of Edinburgh University in lane 2. David Smith of Glenrothes in 3. Connor Mitchell of Warrender in 4. Finlay Wallace of Aberdeen Dolphin in 5. Joseph Martin of Derwent's in 6. Two swimmers from South Lanarkshire, Fraser McIntosh in 7 and Tyler Stewart in 8. And in lane 9 from the University of Aberdeen performance team, Jack Mitchell. So 2:28, the fastest time. Connor Mitchell, he was the junior champion in the 100 breaststroke yesterday, and there's no juniors in the A final, so it'll be him versus Tyler Stewart for the junior title in this one. Two 16-year-olds. Connor is a swimmer who's really made a lot of progress this year, hasn't he? And the coaching team in Warrender.
Yeah, he's done very well. He's on a fast improvement curve.
So let's see what he can do here. Did a 2:28.55 in the heats. His time that he come into the meet, his time from national age groups 2:25 high, 2:25 9.6 to be precise, so he'll be looking to be there or thereabouts. Good start though from Finley Wallace beside him, the 20-year-old from Aberdeen Dolphin. So it's the red of Warrender for Connor and the white of Aberdeen Dolphin in the centre lanes, and it's Finley just turns first, 32.20 by 8/10, and holding that through the turn. Not far behind them is the Derwent side swimmer Joseph Martin. He's maybe making some progress down this second length. So what's the key to successful 200 breaststroke?
Efficiency of your stroke in the first half of the race definitely is important. Conservation of energy. Trying to swim a fast first 100 without trying too hard. That's why you see swimmers trying to hold a long glide on their stroke and get into a good streamlined position. And generally what happens is then as they go through the third and the fourth, they'll start to pick that stroke rate up with the aim of either holding speed or increasing speed. Doesn't always work because it's so tight, it's extremely tiring. But it's that efficiency of technique and energy that's really important.
So Connor Mitchell is showing a good example of that here, really working this third 50, and he's got himself about a meter's lead now over Finley Wallace, and these two just pulling away from third place Joseph Martin. So through 37.6 there for Connor, but Finley was slightly faster there, so he could be in with a shout down this final length here.
Yeah, I mean this looks like they're on pace for around 2:25, which is significantly quicker than the heats.
And Finley is really putting the pressure onto Connor now. And this is, I guess, where it gets tough as to how to respond to this challenge without everything just starting to go a little bit pear-shaped if you overwork it. So the two of them, 5 to go, absolutely stroke for stroke here. It's all going to be about getting that fingers to the wall first. And it was Finley by a 10th that did it, 2:26.43 and 2:26.53 for Connor. Joseph Martin third, 2:29.11. Great racing between the two of them. And well managed by Finley there.
Yeah, just got his hands to the wall fractionally quicker than Connor. It was right on the touch. Finland's hands were probably moving faster in that last few centimetres.
So the junior champion then will be Connor Mitchell. It'll be his second breaststroke junior medal from the weekend. So he'll be happy with that. He was within half a second of his entry time. So again, we think with his focus on the summer meets, I think he'll probably be reasonably okay with that. So to the open final, and coming out to lane 9 is Derwent side swimmer Jay Manners. In lane 8 from Edinburgh University, Emil Moravsky. In lane 7 from Stirling University, Don Bissett. In lane 6 from Edinburgh University, Liam Davis. In lane 5 from Stirling University, George Smith. In lane 4 from Edinburgh University, Ross Young. In lane 3, also from Edinburgh University, Eugene Cook, the Irishman. In lane 2 from Stirling University, William Ellington. In lane 1, it's the para legend, SB14, Scott Quinn, doing what Scott Quinn can only do. In lane 0, Isaac Hall for the Borough of Stockton. So that's your lineup.
It's really good heat swim from Scott Quinn. 2:24 is a good effort for him. Tail end of his career now, 33 years old.
Birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
33 years young. But it's centre lanes, you would think, just 500ths in the heats between Ross Young and George Smith. As you said, I think in the preview, you'd have to fancy George Smith here, bronze medalist at the British Championships. We've also got Eugene Cook, bronze medalist in the Irish Championships, going in lane 3. So.
Yeah, and some of the Edinburgh swimmers are fully prepared for this meet. This is their last competition of the season. That's for some of them, not all of them. So you could see them going real well here. George, I know, is not using this as his final meet. He's got the thing about the British Championships in another month's time. So, yeah, interesting race ahead.
So George is in the white cap there in lane 5, Ross in the black cap beside him in lane 4, and it is these two are going to turn just about together. Well, in fact, Yushin Cook getting the touch there, but I think that was probably just a poor touch in lane 4, but 30.81. Don't think there was any doubt about that for George. He was a 31.81 for his split in the heats this morning, so he's exactly a second faster than that at the 50, and he's just opening up the gap a little bit now, but Ross Young is certainly sticking relatively close to him. George 1:05.96 then. He was bronze medalist at European Juniors last year. Certainly a breaststroke star of the future in British terms.
You hope so, but he's also quite versatile in his event range. He is very good at 400 freestyle, very good at 200 medley. So, we hope for him in different events, to be honest with you.
But he's certainly starting to open up here in the third length, and pushing through into lane 3 is Yushin Cook. So he is the one maybe who's going to mount the challenge down the final length. He's got a second to make up if he is to do that, though. 1:40.55 for George, 1:41.41 for Yushin. Just behind them is Ross Young. Can he make one last push? It certainly looks like this. Well, it's getting close now. 15 meters to go. George has the advantage, but Yushin Cook is pushing him all the way here. There's maybe a meter between them, if that, as we come into the final 5. George has the edge, but is he going to hold on to it? Yes, he is. 2:16.36 for him. Second, just 3/10 back, Yushin Cook, 2:16.65. And in third, Ross Young in a time of 2:18.87. So there is George. Job done. Confirmation of the summary there. So 3/10 is the difference. George Smith taking the win. Yushin second. Ross Young was third.
Yeah, very good to see Yushin coming back on George in that last 50 and making a strong race of it. George really had to push very hard in the final 25 to hold on there.
So to the women's 200 breaststroke now. They're all lined up, ready to go, as the men make their way slightly tiredly out of the pool. So the line-up for the B final: Madeline Patterson for City of Glasgow in 0, 15-year-old. Eva Kirkham first in 1. Emily McGee of Dundee City Aquatics in 2. Another 15-year-old Abby Whitfield in 3 for Derwent's side. Lauren Kenner of Marlins in 4. A 13-year-old Esme Hall goes for Borough Stockton in 5. Leah Bullock of South Lanarkshire in 6. Amy McLeod of City of Glasgow in 7. Sophie Portier of Warrender in 8. And Daisy McInnes, the 14-year-old from City of Glasgow, is in lane 9. So times from the heats, 2:47 up to 2:54. We've got 3 swimmers who are on 2:47s in the heats. Lauren was the fastest of them, the Marlin from Ireland. So what can she do? 2:47.08. She came into the meet on a 2:42, so she would hope to be closer to that this evening. So off they go. Will it be a close one, or will somebody pull out that was saving themselves earlier on in the heats? Not too much in it on the first half length. Lanes 2 and 3 making good early moves. Emily McGee and Abby Whitfield.
Hard to call this race. Quite close in the heat times, but some of these girls are capable of going much faster than they went in the heats as well. So depend on all sorts of things, how this pans out.
It's the youngster Esme Hall who leads by 600 at the 50, 37.04 for her. I guess with the youngsters, obviously you expect rapid improvement from them, but they won't have the strength off the walls that the older swimmers will have, you think. So would you expect the older swimmers to have an advantage through the turns?
They should, especially if they're taller, longer, stronger. You should be able to get more out of the wall. The acceleration you get off the wall should benefit you more in that way. But it's impossible to know everyone's heights here. But Esme does look like a smaller swimmer, but that can mean sometimes she can be easier to pull your body through the water as well. So you don't have to be a bodybuilder to have the strength to swim fast. You can, there's a moderate amount of strength required, but it's about pulling your own body weight through the water, not about how much maximum strength you have.
So certainly pushing on very well now is the Derwent side swimmer, Abby Whitfield, in lane 3. So she is the one who's made the move, and it's up to the others now to try and respond as we come down towards 150. Certainly the centre lanes are still in it. Lauren in lane 4, Esme in lane 5, just about side by side, maybe a metre and a half behind Abby Whitfield, who goes through. You see the relative pacing there. So 42.7s for Esme and Lauren. Abby Whitfield certainly looked, although it didn't show there as the lead at the 150, but certainly looked like she does have the lead. But it's all getting close now between the three of them. Nobody else, I think, is going to get close. So who wants this more? Who is prepared to push in this last 15 metres? The edge still looks to be with Abby Whitfield in lane 3, but she'll need a good finish because the other two are right there with her now. So it's all about finishing now. Look at Esme Hall in lane 5, and she gets it.
9 100s between the top three. Very close finish. All coming back in 42 point. 45.90, 45.98, 45.99.
So youth wins over. Esme Hall, the 13-year-old, takes them on 2:45. She is a couple of seconds faster than she was in the heat. Nicely done, Esme. Came into this on a 2:47 that she did at Northeast Regional, so she takes that down as well by over a second. So good work. Certainly Borough of Stockton have made an impact at this meet. Now to the A final, and leading them out is the Cooper swimmer Ella McGeorge. She goes to lane 9. Next to her, Ailey Robertson of South Ayrshire in 8. There's the Dundee City Aquatic swimmer Lucy Stowes in lane 7. Anna Finley goes in lane 6 for Derwent side. And Alwyn Cook, Edinburgh University Irish swimmer, in lane 5, and her teammate Anna Morgan in lane 4, the fastest qualifier. There's Emma Doyle from Limerick National Centre. Orla Adams, the experienced 200 breaststroker from University of Aberdeen. Belle Cameron, a much younger swimmer, 16-year-old from City of Peterborough. And completing the lineup is Jessica Schultz for University of Stirling in lane 0. So we talked about this one at the top of the show. Anna Morgan, you would fancy, picked up the win in the 100 breaststroke yesterday, so she'll be looking for the double here. 2:33 in the heats, has done at the 2:30.
Yeah, Anna was 109 last night, but also went 2:30 in Rome last week. 2:31, but PB of 2:30. So she'll be aiming for that 2:30, and kind of getting under the 2:30 is obviously an important target for a female breaststroker.
She's off to a good start in lane 4. How easy, or, well, no, stupid question. How difficult is it to do two really good swims, one week and then the next week, you're traveling to Rome, back again now to Glasgow, living out of a suitcase and trying to put off your best, just a week on?
If you manage yourself and look after yourself through that process, it can be relatively easy to do. You've got to make sure you're getting the right recovery time, and you're maybe getting a massage, or you're stretching off properly. You're eating the right things to at the right times to manage the training sessions that you're doing. It's not, and sometimes just a competitive swim last week can allow you to then just go quick. You know, racing helps you race sometimes if you do it back to back. So you might be able to fix something that you didn't get quite right last week.
You sometimes see that in the Mare Nostrum series when they move from place to place, and you see them just gradually picking up their time over if they do all three.
Yeah.
You see them move up. So Anna Morgan is being pushed by Olwyn Cook here. These two well clear of the others, but it is Anna Morgan who leads at halfway, 1:12.43. Her time in the heats was a 1:14.83, so it's nearly 2.5 seconds faster than she was this morning. Olwyn Cook still going with her though. She's within a metre, so giving her a good workout here. Third place, Emma Doyle, so Irish swimmers second and third, but the Scot will be looking to hold them in those positions. Anna Morgan, a 39.1 for Olwyn Cook as well, so she still has that 7/10 lead.
Just probably slipped off slightly. Was probably aiming for to get under 30. Would need a 38 there, and then another 38 down this 50. So it's a tight race though, and Olwyn's going really well.
Yeah, Olwyn is putting in a real challenge here. So we sort of gave this one to Anna Morgan on a plate coming into this race, but she's going to have to work for it in these last 15 metres now because Olwyn Cook is still pushing, but Anna Morgan responding. So she's getting a good workout for her money here. It's going to be Anna Morgan, but it's less than a metre in it. She takes the win in 2:31.20. Second place was Olwyn Cook, 2:31.53, and Anna Finlay taking third out of lane 6, 2:37.31. So in the end, 2:31.20, I would think she'd be pretty happy with, but I think a lot of credit for that goes to Olwyn Cook, who really pushed her on and made her work very hard for that one.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise there from Olwyn, but you know, the teammates racing each other, and two 2:31s will be probably keep them both very happy tonight, I think.
Yeah, Olwyn did a 2:31.1 at the Irish Championships where she was bronze medalist, so to be 4/10 within that, and she would have tapered for the Irish Championships because it was their selection event. So yeah, she'd be very happy, I would think, with that. So we're getting ready for our next set of presentations now. So this will be the presentations for the 100 backstroke events, because we do have the para swimmers to sort out in this one as well. There'll be a para presentation followed by the able-bodied presentation. Just wrapping up on that 200 breaststroke, the junior champion Ailey Robertson, 16-year-old from South Ayrshire, 2:45.45 for her. So that was pretty much matching the time that she did in the heats this morning. Not for the first time she'll be on the podium as junior champion. So we're just waiting for this presentation to get underway, and here they come, the para medalists. Graham Marchbank, the board chair for Scottish Swimming, will be making the presentations for this one. The bronze medal will be to Sam Downey, the S8 swimmer from East Lothian, in time of 1:11.28. The silver medalist to Louis Lawler, City of Glasgow's time 1:03.04, S14 swimmer. And the gold medal goes to Edinburgh University's Stephen Clegg, swimming S12, partially sighted swimmer. Time of 1:01.55 for Stephen. So he is our para champion. And of course, Stephen Clegg had a good number of years in the East Lothian programme, so a little bit of maybe inheritance going on there as he perhaps hands over the East Lothian paramantle to Sam Downey as he now continues his future. Of course, he's been in Edinburgh University for a good while now. Here come the able-bodied medalists. The bronze medalist from Stirling University, Zach Speakman. The silver medalist from Edinburgh University, Scott Gibson. Looks pretty happy with the things there.
Yeah, it's personal best time, I think. So by about half a second. So he'll be pretty happy with that to round off the season on the 100 backstroke.
Jonathan Adam, the gold medalist, 54.22 to take the win. And our Scottish national champion is Scott. It's Jonathan, not a Scott. And the Scottish junior champion, 57.58, the 15-year-old from Aberdeen Dolphin, Dean Fern.
We should watch out for Dean in a couple of international events this summer. He's got the European Youth Olympic Festival first in a couple of weeks' time, and then he'll be heading off to Trinidad for the Commonwealth Youth Games at the start of August. So hopefully some good swims to come from him this summer.
Yeah, very exciting times for Dean there as he really gets a taste of international competition. First time for him, I guess.
It'll be his first junior internationals. I mean, he swam for the Scotland junior team at the Geneva meet in January, but that's technically not an international event where you're country by country, even though you're under the Scotland banner. But these events are genuinely Team GB and Team Scotland against other nations.
Yeah, so we wish all of the swimmers in those teams best of luck. Here we have the para swimmers. So third place there, Emma Imrie of South Ayrshire, the S10 swimmer in that big battle with Katie Pape for the third spot there. The second is Abby Kane swimming S13 for Stirling University, time 1:12 dead. And not for the first time this weekend, the gold medalist is the S13 swimmer from Limerick, Roisin Narion. Congratulations to her. And we'll be moving to the able-bodied medalist next. So we're just waiting for them to come out. Here they come. Bronze medalist, University of Aberdeen performance is Emily Grant. Silver medalist from City of Glasgow, Amy Shields. And the gold medalist, University of Stirling, time of 1:01.59, Kathleen Dawson. The junior final from the City of Glasgow is Heidi Wren. So now our medalists receive their trophy mementos. Let's keep them. I imagine Kathleen will have a good few of those on her mantelpiece or in the loft, one of the two.
So she's built up a large collection over the years.
Yeah. We had Hannah Miley on the live stream a couple of years ago, and we were asking her how many Scottish medals she'd got. She didn't have a clue. A lot was the answer.
Yeah.
So we've got 200 freestyle coming up now. We've got a head-to-head para-final here. Two S14 swimmers, and there they are. In lane 5, Jack Milne from University of Aberdeen Performance. And in lane 4, Louis Lawler of City of Glasgow. So you would think Louis would be a hot favourite here. Is some 8 seconds faster than Jack in the heats earlier on.
Yeah, I think Jack was maybe capable of going faster than what he did in the heats. So it'll be interesting to see what we get here.
So the two of them, Louis in the blue cap, Jack in the white. And away they go. So for Louis, I guess he would want to get what, 201, 202 sort of pace perhaps?
It's only 201, I think that's maybe his PB is a 201. You know, in this event, it's an event he's pretty competitive at in S14 level, but you do need to be probably under 2 minutes to really challenge at the World Championships or the Paralympic final level. So that would be always in his mind. Can he get himself down to that kind of form? Not easy in a race like this where he may be having to pace it, you know, on his own with other swimmers not around him.
Yeah, he's already, what, 5-6 meters up on Jack as we come to halfway to 27.34 at the 50. Let's see what he is at the 100. He's going to be 58.59 sort of territory, 59.48, so a 32 for his second 100.
You know, that's relatively comfortable for Louis. He can go 53 for 100, so he's about PB plus 5 or 6 over for his first half pacing there, and you'd expect him to be able to try and pick it up here as he enters the last 75 meters.
So what would you be looking for, sort of 31 and change and 30 and change in this next two splits, or?
Yeah, well, maybe 31 would be ideal, and he's hit a 31 there, and anything, you know, that or faster now down the last 50 would be really good. I'd like to see him bringing his legs. He's trying to kick, but he could attack his leg kick a little bit more and pick his arm stroke up. He's swimming it quite well, to be fair to the boy.
Yeah, he is well clear here, and so it is very much all about Louis doing his thing. Certainly up his stroke rate nicely down these last few meters and coming in hard into the wall, 2:02.77, so another 31, mid 31 there.
Yeah, it's a good effort, that.
Jack Milne coming in 2:11.18, so inside his heat swim. He probably would have wanted to have gone faster than that. So we know there that the gold medal will go to Louis. We adopt the -1 rule when we just got the two swimmers. So we'll be seeing Louis on the podium in a little while as we go to the B final now. Thomas Maskell of Derwent side goes in 0 with his teammate Adam Strickland in lane 1. Max Upton of Billingham in 2. Ian Rose of Bath University in 3. Dennis O'Brien of Limerick National Centre in 4. Peter Allen of Stirling University in 5. Finley Club, Aberdeen Dolphin in 6. Lewis Maxwell goes for Derwent side in 7. Nathan Campbell of Stirling Swim in 8. And Lucas Brown of Elgin in lane 9. Times in the heats for this B final, 1:57 up to 2:01. Good start in lane 2. That's Max Upton of Billingham. So he was certainly quick off the blocks there. And is he going to have the lead through the turn? Well, it's pretty tight now. Here's Max. Only by 300s, 26.54 against 26.57 for Ian Rose. Formerly of Warrender, now with Bath. But coming up now strongly in the second half in lane 7 is Lewis Maxwell, the 20-year-old from Derwent side.
really important in the 200 freestyle not to over-egg that first 50. You want to be smooth, quite quick, but just hold back a little bit so you can really start attacking down the second length and then hold that as you go into this third length here. The all-important third length in a 200 free.
So would you expect them actually to pick up pace in this third length, or is it about holding that pace from the second 50?
It is, because most people slow down from second to third 50. And if you can hold pace from second to third 50, or even improve it, then you're probably doing a good performance.
So Lewis was a 28.8, the third 50, and not managing to maintain that. So you can see there, still just has the lead, but that was a 31.1. So he's going to be under pressure now, and certainly there's all to play for here. He did get a good turn there though, and he's in the mix, but so are plenty of others. Lane 1 is another Derwent side swimmer, Adam Strickland. He is pushing on, and it looks like he might be the man. Max Upton, the early leader, is challenging for second, but it's going to be Adam Strickland who takes the win, takes the B final, coming home in a 29.38 for a 156.55. So Adam was a 159 in the heats. Just looking to see what he came into this meet on. And I'm just struggling to find, oh, there he is, 156, so right on that, pretty much on his entry time.
Yeah, good battle between the Derwent club mates there. But you can see how, if you go back and look at those splits, for those kind of swimmers there, you can see the third 50 was a bit slower than the second 50 and the last 50. They came back quite well, they were going out quite well, but they've just got to be able to learn how to push that middle part, that third 50, a little bit better.
Coaches are never satisfied, are they?
Absolutely. We've not seen the perfect swim yet, so we're always striving for more.
Maybe this time we'll see the perfect swim from one of these guys. So here come the A finalists for the men's 200 freestyle, and leading them out to lane 9 is City of Glasgow swimmer Rory McKinnon. Nice smile on his face as he comes and says hi to the officials. There's Arthur Logan in lane 8 for Edinburgh University. Lane 7 is Finn McGeever from Limerick National Centre. 6 is East Lothian's Luke Hornsey. In lane 5, Ed Mildred from Bath University. In lane 4 is Duncan Scott from Stirling University. In lane 3 is Evan Jones, so he bypassed the 400 IM to focus on this one. In lane 2, Jude Lydiard of Edinburgh University. Lane 1 is Cam Travis from University of Aberdeen Performance. And in lane 0, Brodie Gordon-Gibson representing Warren de Bass. So Duncan Scott, Ed Mildred, 151.0, 152.7. Evan Jones will be up there as well. But you would think this is a Duncan Scott's race, won the 200 IM yesterday. It's probably 200 IM and 200 free are his main events at the moment.
Yeah. Both him and Evan, of course, part of the Scottish Commonwealth Games team in the relay last year. And I'm also interested to see how Luke Hornsey goes here. He's been swimming well, and he had a good heat swim. And he's known for coming back really well at the end. So keep an eye out for him as we get towards the back end of the race.
So he's in lane 6. He's a little bit back on the leaders here. So it's dark cap, Duncan Scott, white cap, Ed Mildred. Not much between them, 900s as we go through the 50, 25.21 against 25.30, but good turn from Duncan there. Opened up about a meter's advantage. He'll be looking to capitalise on those turns. Great technician, Duncan Scott.
Yeah, his freestyle stroke technique is class, truly world class. The way he can control it and change the speed and the rate, it's really good.
So 52.1 for him now. At the halfway mark, he's about 1.7 faster than he was in the heats. And he's opening up the gap. Going well in lane 3 is Evan Jones. He is pushing Ed Mildred for the second place spot on the podium. Certainly looks like these three are going to be our medalists. As Duncan Scott goes through the 150 in 119.29. So a 27-1 split there.
That's a good swim from Duncan. If he holds 27-1, we're going to see a 146. So I'd be really happy with that here today.
So 144 is lifetime best, because that time from Tokyo, the Scottish record. He's not going to do that, but as you say, this is a class effort and really pushing down the last length. Evan Jones looked like he's going to get second. So 147.24 in the end. We're just easing back a little bit, perhaps, or?
No, I think he was hurting. I think he was hurting.
Right.
Maybe the last couple of strokes when he realised the wall was coming. But
yeah, he was hurting. He was puffing him in a bit there. Evan Jones, great second half from him. 150.09. So again, a couple of seconds, less than 2 seconds away from the time he did at the British.
So what we saw from Duncan there is what I was speaking about a few minutes ago. But in the B final, what they didn't do was really attack that third length. He popped in a 27-1, and then he, in this situation, it was a little bit hard, and he was tied up on the last 50.
So we now move to the women. We've got no para-finals, so we're straight into the B final. The line-up here: Emma Price of Borough Stockton in 0, Bethy Firth of Ards in lane 1. You remember she passed on an earlier swim in the backstroke, so she's focusing on her 200 freestyle. Susie McNair goes again for Stirling Swim in lane 2, Paige van der Westhuizen of Stirling University in 3, Amy Shields, City of Glasgow in 4, Alice Forrest of Derwentsside in 5, Catherine Renfrew from Perth City in 6, Orla McInnes, Heart of Midlothian in 7, and 2 Ellas, Ella Smith in 8 from Borough Stockton, and Ella Stevenson from City of Glasgow in lane 9. 210s, a number of swimmers on 210s. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And then the others all on 211s, so could be a close one.
Although we don't have a para final here, Beth Firth is a S14 para swimmer and very good in her own right. Many times medalist in the para events internationally, so she's out there in lane 1.
Yeah, she's decided to forego her para status at this meet and to swim as an able-bodied swimmer. So even if she had been swimming as para, she wouldn't have been eligible for the medals. But it's good that she's doing that. Gets her good preparation for what's coming on in Manchester.
Yeah, in a sense, if it's been strategically done, it provides her with, because she can make these finals, it's far better off that she swims like that than maybe on her own or with one other person in a para final.
So we thought this was going to be close, and it is Bethy Firth who's just got the lead coming to halfway out of lane 1, although, well, lane 4, very quick through the turn there, Amy Shields. So, in fact, she just edges it 102.30 against Bethy's 102.44.
You see, we saw Amy swimming really well earlier in the backstroke, so probably riding high on confidence and energy and adrenaline here, putting in another good swim. This looks like a good performance from her.
Yeah, she certainly looks to be now starting to open the lead up in the second half here. So good strong 32.79 there.
Yeah, that's good, holding her pace.
35.09, so her lead now about a second. Paige has moved into second place, but certainly that looks like that's where the battle is. There's a whole raft of swimmers battling for second, but I don't think any of them are going to catch Amy, although she's not got that much of a lead. Let's see whether Susie McNair can come at her in lane 2 in the white cap. She is pretty close, in fact. Let's see who gets it. Oh, she does.
By 100th.
I did not see that coming with half a length to go, but Susie really attacked that last length. So congratulations to her. Fantastic swim, 2:08.45. Takes it, as you say, Ian, by 100th of a second from Amy Shields. Small margins indeed.
It's hard to know if Amy knew that Susie was there. Watching her last couple of strokes, I'm thinking maybe she could have just punched a bit harder to the wall and she could have got that touch, because she was definitely ahead of Susie right to that last moment.
Yeah, interesting that. So how much should you be looking around and seeing where everybody is? 'Cause particularly, you're breathing one side, you don't want to disrupt your breathing pattern.
No, and again, it varies stroke to stroke, right? On freestyle, it lends itself to seeing some of the field, but you might not want to look across. A lot of swimmers use the turns as an opportunity to assess their relative position and maybe see where other people are. And it's quite easy to do that on a tumble turn for freestyle. Breaststroke, you should keep your eyes dead forward, really, then look around.
So here we go with our A final. Mary Mischenko from University of Aberdeen, who's into lane 9. There's Elena Morgan, University of Stirling. She'll be in lane 8. Mari Craig in lane 7 for Edinburgh University. In 6, Michaela Glenister back after her 400 IM. In lane 5, it's Megan Barnes from Mount Kelly College. There's Lucy Hope in lane 4, the fastest qualifier for University of Stirling. Nicole Ritchie next to her from University of Aberdeen, the Italian. Evie Davis, another Scot, going for University of Stirling in 2. And Drew Mackenzie for City of Glasgow in lane 1. And completing the field is Rebecca Reid of Aberdeen in lane 0. So Lucy Hope, a 2:03.7 in the heats. Did a 1:57 last weekend in Rome.
You've also got Evie, who was in Rome last week on it with a 2:02, and she's posted 2:07 here, cruising through the heats, I think. So these heat times will probably change a lot here.
So we saw a good 100 from Lucy yesterday, so she's looking for the 100, 200 double, and you'd have to say she is a fairly hot favourite for that, and certainly setting off well here down the first length. She's already up by the best part of a body length from Megan Barnes in lane 5 and Evie Davis in lane 2.
Yeah, Megan Barnes swam well yesterday on the 100, and although she's been from Mount Kelly, she is a Scottish eligible athlete, so it's good to see her up here at the championships.
So 27.3, a second and a quarter advantage for Lucy over Megan. So
that's really quick on a 200, going out in 27.3.
Too quick? Hopefully not. I think Lucy's experienced enough to know what she's doing.
She'll have a deliberate intention around that. What you're looking for is maybe 2 seconds drop off between 50s, from the first 50 to the second 50. She's gone from 27.3 to 30.1. So just 2.8, 2.9 second difference. And then if she can hold that and do another 30, then that's how you get to the 157 again. So.
Yep, you can't defy the maths. She is up by 6-7 meters now, certainly feeling like she's got this one pretty much set up. Megan Barnes holding on to second, then there's a line of swimmers behind her, all going to be scrapping for the bronze medal. Evie Davis just has it. That one, in fact, it's a tie for third. Michaela Glenister and Evie Davis, the two University of Stirling swimmers, but this is all about Lucy Hope here, coming down this final length. So it was a 30.2 on her third 50, so doing their business as far as keeping her pace on in that third length. Now pushing it on here. What's this time going to be? It's certainly going to be under 2 minutes. 1:58.90. So great stuff there. Super swim from Lucy. Matching that 1:57, just a second away from what she did last week. And really, really good there. 1:58.90 for Lucy. Good swim. I would think Megan Barnes will be happy with that. Just holding on in the end there. I think she had to work for it at the end. She was fairly clear at 150, but then only 800ths clear of Michaela Glenister at the end. Short race for Michaela, the 200 freestyle.
Yeah, she likes to do 800s, 1500s, 400s, and 2 or 3 for her. She'll be really happy with that swim, I think, in that 200, especially getting in there for third place.
Just going back to the B final there, that win from Susie McNair made her the junior champion. So we'll be seeing her on the podium shortly. But we have other events to present right now, and they are the 200 breaststroke events. Starting with the men. So just got a little bit of a moment. In terms of what you've seen so far, are you impressed? Who's impressed you?
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. There's been some good racing. It's good. You know, it's always hard to judge the heats, but you get into the finals and people have a real race against other people. And I mean, I know he's top swimmer, but Duncan Scott, the way Duncan Scott went about that 200 free was pretty impressive, and a low 147 is nothing to be worried about. That's a good swim for him in this situation. So,
where would he be in terms of training at the moment? Obviously not rested for this meet, and he's got Worlds coming up in a month or so's time. So where would he be at the moment? Would he still be working very hard?
Yes, and sometimes we refer to it, and you hear a lot of coaches and some talk about tapering for the big competition, and although myself and other people sometimes refer to it as peaking. You're trying to bring yourself into form. It's not just about resting, it's about getting into form. So he'll be doing a lot of high quality work. In fact, using the races in this competition this weekend as part of the training process. Instead of doing a hard training set at home, which you might have done this morning or this afternoon, is using the racing here as part of that.
I guess the same is true for Lucy Hope in that race that we just saw there.
Yeah, Lucy and Katie Shanahan.
The medley, yep.
And probably, Kiana McInnes, Jack McMillan, who also are going to that World Championship team. And they're not the only swimmers doing that. This kind of, the phase in the run-up to a big event is what we call the power phase, the quality training phase, where you want to do a lot more race pace work. Sometimes you break that up. Sometimes you do it as races. You've got to be specific to what events you're doing, aiming for at that point, So, and then as the competition gets a bit closer, you just drop off that a little bit. Don't do quite as much. Make sure you're resting and recovering your energy.
And when they go into the pre-competition camp, what's the focus at that point?
It'll depend on each person's race. Some of them, like Duncan, who'll be and Lucy, will be involved in relays, maybe a few relays at the World Championships. So they'll probably want to be practicing some of their relay strategies, relay takeovers, thinking about what order they're going to be swimming in at the competition, practicing scenarios around that, as well as just keeping themselves in form.
So we do now have our medalists for the men's 200 breaststroke. Making his presentations as the chair of the Scottish Swimming Committee, Nigel Scott, a certain illustrious son. And the bronze goes to Ross Young, Edinburgh University. Silver medalist to Edinburgh University's Usheen Cook. And the gold medalist, he'll be the Scottish Open champion, not a Scot, George Smith from the University of Stirling. So the Scottish national champion will be Ross Young. So Ross, our Scottish national champion. And the junior champion with that excellent time from the B final from Warren de Baas is Connor Mitchell. So well done to the male 200 breaststrokers. Women will be next up. And here they come. The bronze medalist from Derwent's side, the 16-year-old. Great performance from her, Anna Finley. The silver medalist from Edinburgh University, Alwyn Cook. Irish swimmer from Edinburgh University. And a Scottish champion and gold medalist from Edinburgh University is Anna Morgan. 2:31.20, just 3/10 faster than Olwen. And our junior champion from South Ayrshire is Ailey Robertson. So they pick up their memorial trophies as well. Memento trophy is probably a better word for it. So next we will be going to the other end of the pool for the 50 butterfly. B final and A final to come. So the lineup for the B final: Bruno Kempster, Edinburgh University in lane 0. Salvador Gordo in lane 1 for University of Stirling. 2 will be Brodie Gordon-Gibson of Warrender. 3, Ben Carr from Edinburgh University. Kieran Lennox and Tom Beattie both go for the University of Aberdeen. Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer is Tom Robertson in lane 6. Then we have Adam Ritchie of Stirling University in 7. Rory McKinnon of City of Glasgow in 8. And Peter Allen of Stirling University in lane 9. 25.4 to 25.8 the times in the heat. So this is going to be close. Oh, what's going to happen there? Pulled down, and because Salvador Gordo goes off, but I'm sure they'll let him back to the blocks there.
Yeah, I think the referee had already said stand down
yeah.
before he went. I don't know why he said that, but
obviously something that they didn't like there in terms of, well, who knows. So they'll get the single whistle and be invited to go back up onto the blocks. Just steadying themselves again to refocus. And away we go. To feel for Brodie Gordon-Gibson, just out of a 200 freestyle, goes in lane 2, but he's certainly not at the moment in the mix. It's lane 4 who has the edge here, and that is Kieran Lennox of University of Aberdeen. Is he going to hold off? Brodie Gordon-Gibson is coming back though, so a good effort from him, and he gets it. Wow, 24.97. Oh, terrific down the second half there, and that on the back of the 200 freestyle is impressive. Just touching out Kieran Lennox, and the 200 champion Tom Bealey into third there. So well done, Brodie.
Yeah, Kieran was leading most of the way there, and just had a bit of a glide finish on the last stroke. Slowed down a bit, and that allowed Brodie, who had a better finish, just to get his hands on the wall a little bit quicker.
So here come the swimmers now for the A final. Ross Leslie making his way to lane 9 in the red of Edinburgh University. His teammates David Cumberledge in lane 8. In lane 7 it's Luke Shaw, also Edinburgh University. Archie Goodburn from Edinburgh University. Gregor Swinney for City of Glasgow in lane 5. The Scottish record holder in lane 4, the Welsh record holder Thomas Carswell from Edinburgh University. In lane 3, Brogan Hyde of Stirling University. In lane 2, the Scottish junior record holder from Aberdeen Dolphin, Dean Fern. In lane 1, from Stirling University, Jamie Robertson. And in 0, from Edinburgh University, Joshua Mitchell. So 24.3, Thomas Carswell was pretty fast this morning. He's entered on 24.33, swam a 24.33. What can he do? And can anybody get inside that time? Gregor Swinney broke the Scottish record at the British Championships in April. Hit a 23.82. What can he do here? goes in the blue of City of Glasgow. Just returned to that programme. So off they go. What's going to be fast and furious here? Certainly a good start from Tom Carswell in lane 4. Also pushing on the near side, but really, really tight here. Lane 3, Brogan Hyde is going well. Who's going to get this one? Looks like Carswell just going past Hyde now. It's these two in the dark caps going to take 1 and 2. Carswell takes it in 24:14. So that is inside his entry time. I'm wondering if that is I don't think it is a new British record. He did at 23:75 in Sheffield. So good swim though from Tom Carswell. Brogan Hyde takes second, and it's Gregor Swinney in third.
Yeah. Good swim from Brogan Hyde there. I think that was a PB for him, and Dean Fern, I think, came fourth, and he will be the junior champion there.
Yeah, and he was pretty close to his junior record there, 24:6.
Yeah.
So 24:4. So we move to the women now. Women's 50 butterfly B final. Line up all the McInnes of Hearts, Melissa Mainwaring, West Lothian, Alice Mackey of Hearts, Emily Maxwell of Derwentside, 2 Edinburgh University swimmers, Faith Euder in 4, Emmy Hutchison in 5, Helen Stoddart for East Lothian in 6, Kirsty Breakin of Aberdeen Dolphin in 7, Eve Mayer in lane 8 for South Ayrshire, and Krista Wilson, Borough Stockton in lane 9. So away they go. Fastest by 300th Faith Euder from her teammate Emma Hutchison. So this again is going to be very, very close. Good start from the East Lothian swimmer Helen Stoddart in lane 6, but now getting into a stride in lane 4 is Faith Euder, and she is looking to dominate this one now. Up by probably a metre or so. Alice Mackey pushing on in second place, but it's Faith Euder. That, in terms of a 50 fly, is a pretty comprehensive win in 28:32, with Alice Mackey in second and Helen Stoddart in third.
Yeah, that's a big jump forward from a heat of 29.3 down to 28.3. Really good swim, that.
Yeah, very good. She came into the meet on a 28.38, so just edged inside that as well. So out come the swimmers for the A final. The lineup, we have Becky Watson leading them out, the 17-year-old from Borough Stockton. Next to her, Stella McCarty, also a 17-year-old from City of Glasgow. In lane 7, Abigail Stemp goes for Edinburgh University. Katie Goodburn, her teammate, next to her in lane 6. Lane 5, Lucy Grieve of University of Stirling. Lane 4, the fastest qualifier from Edinburgh University, Kira Schlossen. In lane 3, Kathleen Dawson back after her backstroke win. She goes in lane 3 for University of Stirling. Yasmin Himalayan goes in lane 2 for Edinburgh University. There is Andrea Cox of Dundee City Aquatics in lane 1. And in lane 0, it's Drew Mackenzie, also a quick return to the pool for her. City of Glasgow swimmer completes the field. So Kira Schlossen in lane 4, Lucy Grieve in lane 5. Can Kathleen Dawson pick up a win here? That would be impressive.
Should be between Grieve and Schlossen, but you never know.
Yep. So they are in the centre lanes. Similar reaction times off the blocks, and as they get into their stroke, it looks like maybe Lucy Grieve just has the edge. Good start from Katie Goodburn as well in lane 6. Probably best known for breaststroke sprinting, but she's now just a bit out of it. Lane 3 is going well. That is Kathleen Dawson. She is right in the mix here with Schlossen and Grieve. Who gets the touch? It's Kira Schlossen. Just gets it. Kathleen Dawson nicks second there. against Lucy Grieve. Oh, I think she might have some fun with that one back in the University of Stirling camp. Kathleen Dawson looking very good there.
Yeah, that was very, very sharp swim from Kathleen.
Entry time 28.12, takes that down to 27.5.
I think it's a PB. I have her on, looking up the rankings here at 27.55, their lifetime best. So just inside that. So
excellent stuff. So she'll pick up silver. She'll be the Scottish champion because Kira Slosson not a Scot. But Kira, a good swim from her, takes the gold there. So second place was Kathleen Dawson. Third was Lucy Grieve. So we'll be back to the podium now. This will be the medal sequence for the 200 freestyle. So our para champion, time at 2:02.77, is Louis Lawler. So another good performance from Louis there. On a pretty successful national championships. And on to the men's 200 freestyle presentation. So the bronze medalist then, and not this one, Edward Mildred. Silver medalist, Evan Jones. Great last 50 from Evan. And the gold medalist and national champion, Duncan Scott. And our junior champion from Stirling Swimming is Logan van der Merlen. Next up will be our medalist for the women's 200 freestyle. No para presentation on this one. So here come the women. The bronze medalist from Stirling University to add to her gold yesterday in the 800 freestyle, Michaela Glenister. Also picked up her medals earlier, silver in the 400 IM. So having a good weekend, Michaela Glenister. Silver medalist from Mount Kelly, Megan Barnes. And the gold medalist and national champion from the University of Stirling, time at 1:58.90, Lucy Hope. And the junior champion from Stirling Swimming, Susie McNair. So our next individual event will be the fastest heat of the men's 1500 meters freestyle. So we had one heat this afternoon. Oscar Churnside, the winner of that, just over the 17 minutes, 17:00:04. So that's the time that they've got to beat. Certainly the senior swimmers you would think will beat that. The question is, James Body, the one junior, will he beat that? He'll have to do a 13.5-second PB to manage that. But the lineup here, lane 8 is Daniel Moyes from City of Peterborough, 7 William Shepherd of Perth City, 6 is Scott Fleming from South Lanarkshire, Jack Munsey in 5 for University of Stirling, Michael Flynn, City of Glasgow in lane 4. There's Luke Hornsey from East Lothian, swam that 200 freestyle not that long ago. Ben McLaughlin of Geary in lane 2. Jack Simpson of South Lanarkshire in lane 1. And James Body, the one I was talking about, the one junior, goes in lane 0 for Geary. So 9 swimmers in this second heat. Michael Flynn has the fastest entry time. Jack Munsey won the 800 yesterday. So those two. Luke Hornsey could be in about it as well. 17-year-old from East Lothian. String of 17-year-olds, in fact 6 of them in this second heat. And 2 20-year-olds in the centre lanes. And the youngster, the 16-year-old James Body, in lane 0. So things looking up for distance swimming in Scotland, do you think?
Here and there on an individual level, we've got 1 or 2 promising swimmers. Collectively over the whole country, we probably need to boost it a lot more.
So we're on the way, and let's see how we go here. Of course, a long, long way to go here. 30 lengths of the pool. So we'll keep tabs on their pacing, and it is Luke Hornsey who's just off fastest down that first 50, but going with him now is Jack Munsey in lane 5. In between them, in the blue of City of Glasgow, is Michael Flynn, and then in lane 6 it is Scott Fleming. So you'd probably fancy those 4 as being the main contenders, with Luke Hornsey going through in 59:34. So a nice sub-minute start for him. Munsey 6/10 back on him in second place. Then it is Michael Flynn and Scott Fleming. So the 2 17-year-olds, Luke Hornsey and Scott Fleming, have had many a distance battle over the last few years, particularly since COVID, when they've been pretty evenly matched and they've had some real scraps. Usually Luke has won it, not always. But this time it's Luke Hornsey doing battle with the older swimmer, Jack Munsey. You would think Jack Munsey would be the favourite for this one. I think he maybe is just, well, it's close between the two of them as we come up to 200 freestyle. I think Jack Munsey, well, still just behind Luke Hornsey. About a metre in it, and Michael Flynn another metre back, so through 200, 2:03.19 for Luke. So pacing there just under 64, 31.8 for that 50. Scott Fleming will be trying to stay in touch with the top 3 here in lane 6. Then there's quite a gap to the swimmers behind. William Shepherd in lane 7 and Ben McLaughlin in lane 2. So it's not much in it now. Munsey, in fact, just goes into the lead by 500. You see he was about 7/10 faster on that 50 than Luke. This will be quite a learning experience for Luke, I would think, going against these 2 20-year-olds. It's a bit different from going against his peers in national age group sort of competitions.
It is. But it's also hard, again, it comes back to some of the, where are they in their terms of their preparation and readiness for this competition. I know Michael's been having a bit of trouble with a shoulder problem, and he's just back off a training camp, so he should have good fitness, but depends how much that shoulder is bothering him today. Luke has been really targeting this event this season, and he does well on other ones, but he made a good drop a few weeks ago at the Glasgow International meet, and he's looking good here today.
Yes,
Jack, it's always hard to see. Jack's just pulled away there a little bit, but it's still early in the race yet, so it's hard to make too much out of it so far.
Yes, so 16:12 the entry time for Luke Hornsey is the time he did here at the Glasgow meet. Jack Munsey, 16:03, did at British Universities in Sheffield in February. Michael Flynn entered 15:46. I don't know when he did that time, but
it's I think that's his short course conversion.
Right.
His PB long is 16:00 from the British Summer Meet last year, and I think he did a really good short course one around 15:24. So I think that might have been the conversion. How he's got to the 15:46, where I think Munsey and Hornsey are in on their long course times.
And the last thing you want is a shoulder injury if you're a distance freestyler, isn't it? That's really not good news.
Yeah.
Let's hope that he can get through that and get back to where we know he can be. But it does look like Jack Munsey now is starting to pull away. So he was steady in the first 300. Let's see what sort of pace he's bringing to bear here. So they've been going around 64s up to now. Must be another 54. The answer is yes, it is. 16:54, so 64.2. Luke Hornsey seems to be getting some pretty good turns there, keeping them in contention.
Yeah, a lot of swimmers will mentally and strategically treat the 1500 and break it down into 3 500s, usually using that first 500 to kind of just settle into their own pace, find their rhythm, and it's usually quite fairly comfortable. And then this middle part of the race from 5 to 1000 is where you really need to start thinking about, can you start pushing it on a bit harder. And generally when they get to 700 or 800, it's starting to really hurt by that point.
So is there the equivalent of the marathon wall at sort of 12 or 1300?
Yeah. Yes, I would say so. If you you'll know by 700 or 800 how hard this is going to be. If you're still going well at 1000, then or it's not hurting you by 1000, you're probably going to do well and finish well.
So Luke Hornsey has really picked up the pace in that last 100, and he's back in the lead now. He was about a second behind. So he's certainly reminding Jack Munsey that he is still right there.
Munsey's tracking him, isn't he? I think keeping an eye on him, looking across from when they go this way down the pool anyway.
So it is Luke Hornsey by just a quarter of a second or so, 32.10, Munsey 31.98. So they're still pacing pretty much at the same pace. They look to be dropping Mr. Flynn now. So it does look like it's going to be a two-way contest. The Stirling swimmer Jack Munsey against the East Lothian swimmer Luke Hornsey. Coming up to 700 now, and it is Luke by a metre and a half now. So that was an important 100 there for Luke. 7:24.85. So he is pushing on very nicely around those 64s. If he could keep this up, he's going to be knocking on the door of 16 minutes here. So could he do that? Is that feasible?
It's feasible. I think it's feasible for sure. Whether it's on today or not, I think it's going to be quite close. You have to obviously average under 104 to make it under 16, and some of that you'll take from the first 100 and the final 100. If you can split 64 low for the rest of it, it should be on. Neither of these three boys have been as far as I know from the rankings, have been under 16 minutes long course, and something that's going to be their target, to do that every time they race. Until they've done it, it's going to be on their mind. They've got to get under 16 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you then got to work your way through the 15s, haven't you, really, to get into world standard? You need to be well into the 14s.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Scotland's only had 5 people who've ever gone under 15:30.
All right, I remember who they are. Well, Stephen Milne, obviously.
Yeah.
After that, I struggle.
Graham Smith.
Of course, yes.
Him, Olympic bronze medalist. A lad called Ross Hughes used to swim at Stirling.
Oh yes, remember him. Yeah.
And then Craig Hamilton.
Of course, yes.
Lewis Smith.
And Lewis, yeah. Should have got them. Should have thought about that a bit more.
I actually think there's one more who's not on the rankings, and that's Martin Kremen. I think there's been some.
Okay, yes. Because he represented Scotland in Glasgow, didn't he, in the Commonwealth Games?
That was in 2014. Scotland had 4 people who were under, not in the race because you can only swim 3, but 4 people who could swim under 15:30 at that time. So in a sense, that's going back to your question. Right now, we're a bit behind that.
Yeah.
Because these are currently our leading distance swimmers. There's another one in England called Sean McCann, and he's just under the 16 marker at the moment. But they need to get 30 seconds quicker to be up,
contenders.
To be in, what we'd really call the distance kind of area.
But I guess the youngsters there, and Jack Muntz is still pretty much a younger, 20-year-old, but Luke, 17-year-old, Sean McCann, similar age. You'd be expecting significant improvement in the next couple of years from them.
Yes, yeah. I think in this event for males, going from age 17 to 20, is where you can make a big, real strides forward.
So Jack Munsey is responding to the challenge that Luke laid down, and as we come up to 1,000 meters now, he is maybe just edged back into the lead, although it's pretty much even Stevens here. In fact, really is. They're turning absolutely together there. In fact, Luke getting the touch by 300s, 10:38.87. So
they've got, that was 1,000, so they've got to get through in 5:21 the next 500 to break 16.
Yeah, at the moment, perhaps pacing just slightly over the 16 minutes, but it's if they can just ramp it up a little bit in this last 500, and of course they will go faster at the end, particularly because there's every sign that there's going to be a race on, unless one of them does break away.
Jack maybe looks like he just made a little bit of a move there. And, Luke needs to spot that now and respond.
Yeah, a 31.5 there, so definitely Jack Munsey is up in the pace. See there his former coach there, Aaron Dixon from Perth, which was where Jack developed his skills, is urging him on there. Does look like Luke is responding.
Yes. And I've said it earlier, but Luke, I've seen him several times this year finish his race really well down the last 100 meters, 50 meters, so hopefully he can do that again.
So that was a 63.94 in fact, so that was a good 100 for either pair of them, particularly Jack, who has just got the edge now. But Luke will be doggedly staying with him to give himself a chance with that fast finish you were talking about. Can Jack Munsey pick up the pace in the last stage, do you think? Has he got a record of doing that?
He tends to hold his pace. I don't want to judge him too early, but he's quite good at holding a strong pace throughout. Sometimes it depends on whether you see where your opposition is as to how much you can find down that last bit. If there's no one around you, it tends to be hard. If you know someone's right on your heels, you can find a little bit extra.
And he's still there, Luke Hornsey. He's maybe 1.5 meters back on Jack.
He definitely knows where he is.
Less than a second in it. 12:46.38, 12:47.16.
They're going to go 3:12 to 3:13 in the last 300, which is definitely on. Definitely on.
Yeah.
But they will be hurting now. They will both be hurting at this point.
They are tracking at the moment under 16 minutes, though. So This is looking very, very good.
It's kind of the point in the race where you're thinking, I've got to hold on, or can you squeeze a little bit more out now and push 250 to go? Really, this is where I think you've got to move now if you want to get a good finish.
So there's about a second between them now as they are lapping a lot of the other contenders. Third place, but a long way back, is Michael Flynn now. He is about 14 seconds back on our two leaders. So 200 to go at this turn, and Jack still with about 1.5 meters lead. He's had that lead for the last couple of 100 meters. It's still less than a second though. 13:50.26 plays 13:51.03. Another one under 64 there, so he's holding that pace nicely. Sub 64 here.
Yeah, 104 does it, but you're hoping they're going to get even quicker than that.
Can we get them both under the 16 minutes? Certainly Jack has been well tested here, but he's opening up a bit more of a gap now. So 150 to go, a 31.4 there, so for the first time he's quite a bit faster than Luke by 1.3 there.
Luke really lost quite a lot on that 50. He must be really hurting, but again, he's a tough competitor. He knows where, he can see on this length anyway, he can see where Jack is.
And he's certainly pushing it still. He's getting it back to within a body length.
And watch for him to push it really hard down the final 100.
So 14:53.67 plays 14:54.94, so just over the 1.3, but you can see Luke was faster in that penultimate, 150 to 100, and he is getting himself into position here to mount a last length attack. So this is what you want to see at a distance event, isn't it? Two swimmers going hard at it, both looking for big PBs, important milestones. So 15:25 on the dot.
Oh, they're both going to be under.
6/10 between them. It's all about racing now down this last length. Who can find the sprint speed down the last length? Can Luke Hornsey bring on a famous victory? I think he might do. He is really the one that's put in the power down this last length. What a final 50 from the East Lothian swimmer. He is going to take this one. He thought he was hurting earlier on, but look at that. 15:53.25. Jack Munsey PB's 15:55.75. What a pair of swims there. Well, they've got to be so pleased with that, both of them. Jack, I think, probably will be disappointed not to have won the race, but he must be happy with a 15:55. Luke, you would think, once he's got the breath for it, will be absolutely ecstatic there with that 15:53. Mike Flynn coming in 17:53. I'm getting so excited here, I can't get my words out. So great stuff. What a race that was, Ian.
Yeah, super race. Really good to see this. It's always better when you get a 1500 and you can see that kind of racing. Not knowing who was going to take it on. Then Jack tried to push it out there and Luke hung on to him. We thought he'd lost him for a moment, but then he realised it, dug deep and found more to come in. He finished with a 27.6.
Yeah, that's remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah. That's really good. If you can do that, that turn of speed at the end of a swim like that is a quality you really want. Not everyone can do that.
Yeah, explosive pace at the end as our final swimmers come in. There is Daniel Moyes coming in. James Body, so 17:17 for James, so it does mean that our junior champion from the earlier heat will be Oscar Churnside with his time of 17:00. But there is the confirmed result from Heat 2. Luke Hornsey taking the win, 15:53.25. Jack Munsey in second, 15:55.75. Michael Flynn in third, 16:17.53. So brilliant stuff, particularly from those two under the 16 minutes. Congratulations, Luke and Jack. Michael Flynn getting the bronze. Oscar Churnside will be the junior champion. Well, for me, that was the race of the night. I really enjoyed that. It was great character from both swimmers. Of course, got a relay still to come. That's going to be pretty special.
Yeah, 4x100 freestyle mixed relay.
But before that, we've got some presentations to do. The 50 butterfly will be the next one to do, and I think we'll be doing the 1500 freestyle after that as well. So just waiting for the swimmers to get themselves organised for our 50 butterfly presentations. So we saw in those relays last night, we had the medley relays. It was a Sterling 1, 2, 3, and they had a whole mass of teams. Just slightly less expansive this time, just the 3 teams. I think they had 5 last night. But here we go with our presentation. 50 butterfly men. Fiona Crawford's Scottish Amateur Swimming Association Vice President making the presentations here. She'll also be doing a great job refereeing and officiating this weekend. So the bronze medalist Gregor Swinney of City of Glasgow, 24.55. Brogan Hyde, the University of Stirling, the silver medalist, 24.36. And it looks like we're missing our champion Tom Carswell. He was the winner, Edinburgh University swimmer, 24.14. And the junior champion there, ready to go. A very nice swim from Dean Fern, 4th overall, top junior, 24.69. So congratulations to our 50 butterfly medalists. Now to the women's 50 butterfly. So just waiting for our women to appear. Do stay around because this mixed freestyle relay is going to be something special. I think we absolutely blasted the Scottish club record and Scottish record last night in the mixed medley relay, and I would not be at all surprised if we do something similar in the freestyle relays with the University of Stirling crews. But here come the women. The bronze medalist from Stirling University, Lucy Grieve. The silver medalist, perhaps a surprise, Stirling University, Kathleen Dawson. And the gold medalist for Kira Schlossen of Edinburgh University. The Scottish national champion will be Kathleen Dawson. And the junior champion from East Lothian swim team, Helen Stoddart. Bit of debate as to whether that memento goes to the Open champion or the Scottish champion, but the decision was it goes to the Open champion. Kira gets it. So our final race of the day. So that 1500 presentation will take place after this. So it is our mixed freestyle relay, fastest heat. Out come the athletes. And leading them out in lane 9 is the team from Dumfries. Finley Nelson, Rory Webster, Molly Irvin Watson and Millie Colvin. Then in lane 8, Aberdeen Dolphin B team, Dean Fern, Callum Gold, Olivia King, Isle Club, they're a junior team. Sterling Swimming, Nathan Campbell, Andrea van der Merwe, Coco Croxford, Susie McNair. In 7, lane 6, University of Aberdeen with Cameron Travis, Tom Bealey, Emily Grant, Mary Mischenko. In 5, Stirling B team, University team, Evan Jones, George Smith, Lucy Grieve, Evie Davis. In 4 is the University of Stirling A team, Duncan Scott, Zach Speakman, Katie Shannon, Lucy Hope. Lane 3, the University of Stirling C team, Angus Allison, Peter Allen, Paige van der Westhuizen, Florence Tinsley. Limerick go in lane 2, Dennis O'Brien, Danielle Farrell, Rasheen Narayan and Finn McGeever. Lane 1, Aberdeen Dolphin A team, Finley Club, Tom Robertson, Kirsty Breakin and Maya Reynard. And Stirling Swim go in lane 0, their B team, Logan van der Merwe, Murray Dixon, Perry Scobby and Cara Gordon. So the Stirling University teams in the centre lanes will be hot favourites for this one. Just to mark your card. The Scottish record 3:33.39, the Scottish club record 3:38.36 at times that they'll be aiming for here. Out first then is the A team with Duncan Scott leading them off, so no surprise to see him into the lead at the first half of the first leg. Evan Jones leading off for the University of Stirling B team. After that it's pretty close. Dean Fern leading off for Aberdeen Dolphin in lane 8. In lane 6, Cam Travis for University of Aberdeen. But it is Duncan Scott putting off a good start there for Stirling University A team. 49.11 his split, so the only one under the 50. 51.59 was Evan Jones' split. In the water now, Zach Speakman for the University of Stirling A team, George Smith for the University of Stirling B team. After that it's close, possibly lane 1, Aberdeen Dolphin, Tom Robertson on the second leg for them. So coming down the second half of the second leg, still big advantage for the University of Stirling A team. Zach Speakman is more than holding his own against George Smith. We saw in that 200 breaststroke earlier. The race is about third. This is all pretty close. University of Stirling C team with Peter Allen. And lane 1, Aberdeen Dolphin. And they're all in the mix, but it's the two University of Stirling teams. 1:40.98 as we go to the women now. So it's Katie Shanahan in lane 4 for the A team, and for the B team it's Lucy Grieve. Still that three-way contest going on for third. For Dolphins it's Kirsty Breakin. For University of Stirling C team it is Paige van der Westhuizen, and in lane 7 lane 6 rather, it's University of Aberdeen with Emily Grant, but well, certainly 1 and 2 looks pretty clear here. Katie Shanahan putting in a good strong third leg for the University of Stirling A team. So coming up there in 2:37.14. So 100 to go, and it's Lucy Hope, the winner in the 100, the winner in the 200. So they've got safe hands there for the University of Stirling A team. Evie Davis going for the B team. So they're going to be 1 and 2. They are well clear of everybody else. Looks like it is Aberdeen Dolphin in third now in lane 1, Maya Reynard. We'll see them coming through as the others come back. But we'll see how far back they are. In fact, I think it's Sterling, National University C team. It looks like maybe it will be a 1-2-3 here as Lucy Hope into the final 15. So let's just check on the time. So the Scottish club record 3:38.36. That's gone 3:31.83. So 6.5 seconds inside the standard time there. Stirling University B team were also inside that time. Who's getting third? In fact, it is lane 6, University of Aberdeen Performance. Mary Mischenko finishing the job for them. So that is your top 3. Stirling University C team just outside the medals, 3:44.93 with Limerick 5th. And Stirling Swim in 6th.
Yeah, new club record. That's a good time, 3:31, when you have 2 men, 2 women in there.
Yep. So not all Scots. So
no, it can't be the Scottish
can't
record.
be the Scottish record. Zach Speakman, not the Scot in that quartet. But as you say, a good time, and certainly set Scottish club record that is going to be challenging for the future.
Yeah, I mean that's 50 average of 52.5 would get you 3:30. So. It's just slightly above that time on an average. That's good.
But then if you split it 2 men, 2 women, then you've got to separate those times, haven't you, in terms of, what would you get for the women versus what you get for the men.
Yeah, yeah.
So, 50 point and 53, 54 points? Or
well, you're essentially getting, 50-50, 55-55 to go around that. And I think Katie was, Duncan was 49.1, Zach I think was 51, Katie was 56. I'm not sure what Lucy was, I didn't get a chance to work that one out. But I'm guessing she was 54 last night in the relay, so she may have probably been close to that again. So, yeah.
So
not many teams could beat that.
No, certainly not in Scotland, and probably even outside Scotland.
The UK,
Loughborough and Bath would perhaps give it a good go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, wouldn't we? Yeah, Loughborough, Bath, Stirling, head-to-head in a mixed relay.
That would be interesting, yeah. And Edinburgh could throw a team into that as well and be competitive as well.
Yes, that's true. So here come our medalists for the 1500 freestyle. Scottish Hammer Swimming Association President Brian Hendry will doing the honours for us here. What a race this was. Bronze medalist then, Michael Flynn of City of Glasgow, 16:17.53. And then those 2 times under the 16 minutes, Jack Munsey, silver medalist, 15:55.75. And Scottish champion must be his first Scottish championship gold medal. Luke Hornsey from East Lothian, time of 15:53.25. Brilliant stuff from Luke and Jack.
We're hoping that, all 3 of those will then go on in the next month and swim faster again. And I hope they're all doing that race again.
And this young man as well, 17:00. For the 15-year-old from Geary, Oscar Churnside, to take the junior medal.
And hopefully he'll get under 17 next time he swims.
Very soon, yep. And 2 years on, he could be in that sort of Luke Hornsey timeline.
He needs to be thinking about that, yeah.
So congratulations to our 1500 swimmers. One more presentation to do, that relay that we've just seen. So it'll just take a little while, I think, to get those swimmers organised after their efforts. You can see them in that swim down area. You've got that expansive area behind the Scottish swimming board that you can see in your shot, which is a great area actually for swimmers to prep as well as to using it as a call room. That's a real asset in here in Tollcross to have that space.
Yeah, it's really helpful when we have meets like this. I mean, originally that space has been created in, hopefully in the future, to have a diving pool over there. That's why the roof is bigger over there, and there's a space to do it, but that's not on the agenda right now, and it's great to take advantage of it for competition. Sometimes it's used as a high jump and pole vault training area for the locals, but yeah, it really allows you to have a land space and a spread out space in these meets, so it's good.
So just getting organised, and here we go. Swimmers coming up to the podium for our final presentation of day 2. So the bronze medalists are University of Aberdeen Performance Squad. So the team there, Cameron Travis, Tom Bealey, Emily Grant and Mary Mischenko. The silver medalists are the Stirling University B team, led off by Evan Jones, followed by George Smith in the green. Lucy Grieve was on the third leg, and Evie Davis anchoring them. And our gold medalists and Scottish national champions, University of Stirling A team. The A team, Duncan Scott, Zach Speakman, that's Lucy Hope who did the anchor leg, and Katie Shannon who did the third leg. 3:31.83, that new Scottish club record. So congratulations to them. And it's South Ayrshire from this afternoon's heat, the junior champions. They were Benji Jeffries, Ailey Robertson, Sophie Steele and Lewis Gibson. I think only one representative of them, but she's entrusted to taking the medals back to base. So that's it, Ian. Thank you very much for your company this evening.
Thank you, Duncan. It's been a pleasure. We'll look forward to more good swimming tomorrow.
Yep, one more day of competition, so we'll be back at 5 to 9 tomorrow morning. So don't miss it. It's going to be a good final day. But for now, we'll wish you a fine good evening on Saturday night in Glasgow.